Good evening, everyone. Those for Black Lives Matter and those for All Lives Matter, good evening. My last name is Johnson. I grew up here in Gainesville from first grade to graduating from Gainesville High School. Seen a lot of racist acts, a lot of experience I've had here. Just to kind of give you a little history on some of the experience I have, my great-grandmother owned the land out there where the city dump is. Yes. Right now it's a city dump. When she owned it, about 200 acres of it, it was all watermelon patches, it was all farmland, it was all workers' land, it was all for black community people to come in and get a job when they couldn't get a job that would at least help them put food on the table. She had an instance where I guess the city of Gainesville just realized that she had too much land. So they came and gave her maybe $100, maybe $200 back then for her land, kind of just pushed her off the land and turned it to what we see now as a city dump out by Lake Kiowa, an area that a lot of black people haven't lived in. But they took that whole area that was mined and farmed by black people and turned it into a city dump. Another story. Everybody knows Leonard Park. Across from Leonard Park is Moffett Park. Moffett Park was owned by my cousin's family. Black people couldn't go to Leonard Park and swim in the pool with the same people because the saying was it would rub off in the water. So my uncle decided to put a pool on Moffett Park on that side of town across the street, and they called that the Black Park. He owned that land. More land that came and confiscated for pennies on the dollar. My dad had a roofing business here in Gainesville. Did a lot of business here. We did this courthouse. We did this courthouse. We did a lot of the elementary schools here. We did a lot of these businesses downtown here. One day we get a call from someone, a lawyer that was looking to be a DA in town and wanted to see if we could go to the black communities and get the black communities to come out and vote. And maybe see how we can help out and do some good things and change some things in the black communities. Well, my dad, he was a huge guy in the community. He always had jobs for the people that couldn't get jobs. We had a roofing business. I mean, there was a lot of guys with felonies that couldn't get jobs. They couldn't even go to McDonald's and get a job packing trash out. My dad would definitely make sure they had something to do, food on their table. So once we got her, helped her get into the DA spot, then all of a sudden, all of the blacks in the black community on this side of town start getting arrested for minor charges, getting set back for 15 to 25 years. It was kind of crazy because in the black community, we were like, wait a minute. We was hustled to get you in, and now you rushing us in the pen.
One by one.
After we figured that out, we realized why the business had stopped in Gainesville.
Right.
We had a lot of the business with the Joe Walters Lumber Company. A lot of these lumber businesses around here would call us and be like, look, you're local, someone's looking for somebody local. All of a sudden this business stopped. I think I was like 16 at the time. My dad just kept saying, I kept hearing him say this phrase, they starving me out, they're starving me out. I didn't know what that meant at the time. That means we had to go to Denton, we had to go to Sanger, we had to go to Dallas, we had to go to Sherman, we had to go to Denison. We couldn't get work in Gainesville because we were a black business trying to be successful. My dad moved from Northgate Apartments, which is now Lexington Apartments, across the tracks. Which, just to let y'all know, blacks used to live on East Gainesville on that side of the tracks, and there used to be races to beat them up or shoot them, and they would stop at the tracks right here on that next street over. Right here on this street over. As soon as they got to the tracks, this side turned to back, black people with the East Gainesville. Now it's nothing like that. A lot of the communities have been changed. If you go and look at some of these communities that we see, now a lot of blacks live over here in Culberson, a lot of blacks live in this side of town, we call it Quaker, and if you look, the community What has Gainesville put into the community? You guys are community people. You guys are here supporting what you support. But if you're from Gainesville, you should be supporting Gainesville. You should want to see growth. You should want to see people come to town and say, man, that's a great stop. That's a great place for me to stop in. That's a Medal of Honor city. I mean, so what I'm trying to figure out is, why is there a divide on a statue and a flag that is really more divide? You are patriots. We are the people. Am I my brother's keeper? I mean, I hear a lot of that on social media, and then I see people out here just like totally different with different views. But blue lives is a job. Black lives is a person. It's a race of people. Blue, we love the blue. We love the officers. Trust me. There's been some that have done things that, guess what? We are a forgiving race of people. We have forgave. We have moved on. But there's still an inside hate to say, hey, you know, they want to take the flag down. It's taking down my heritage. It's taking down what we grew for. Timothy McVeigh, he did something. We got a statue of him. Treason is huge. My understanding, from what I learned, think about it. If they had to hide it from the history books, and we had American history, Texas history, civil history. I mean, we had about 17 different histories growing up. And not one of them said anything about Tulsa. I mean, and then you see in the movement now, just think if there was video with James Byrd when he was drugged behind the truck. You guys are seeing it goes from civil rights to Black Lives Matter. It's the same talk though. We're having the same fight that my dad's dad had. It's no different outcome we're looking for. Equality. Wage gap cut in two. It's nothing different. It's the same thing. It just got a different name. It's got an acronym now. They just used to call civil rights, civil rights. Now it's BLM, Black Lives Matter. How many times do you have to see it? How many times do you have to see it? Because I've seen a lot of the George Floyd videos. It's up to about 40 million. How many times do you have to see it to believe that it's going on? Nobody's asking you to say, hey, I'm taking this from you. They're asking you to say, hey, I'm American. They're American. If all lives matter, then black lives should matter. The point that they're making about it, they're not saying, hey, black lives matter because white lives don't matter. Nobody's ever even came up with that. People are getting upset behind something that really personally doesn't even affect you. They're asking you to join hands with all Americans. As you can see on this side of the fence, it's pretty diverse over here. And I keep hearing a lot of 2020 people, Trump 2020 people saying that Trump is diverse. Where are all them people that, them black videos I be seeing people posting with them people talk, I love it, but they should be here with y'all if they believed in what y'all believe in. There's a reason they're not. Nobody's asking you guys to be upset about it. They're just asking you to realize that if we had to go and walk and look at a statue of Lee Harvey Oswald, these are guys are traitors that traded against America. If there was statues on a courthouse in a town of these guys, come on, man. There's got to be some pushback to that. And we're talking about somebody, I don't even know if anybody out over here can even name who that soldier is. Does he even have a name? He's got no name. So if he was, I could see if it was somebody else fighting for, oh man, that's Lee, racist, a racist is a racist, but guess what? There is no character in who you're battling for. The flag was only good on Dukes of Hazzard. I love Dukes of Hazzard. I grew up watching Dukes of Hazzard. Not a black person on it, but I loved it, and I watched it, and I wanted to jump cars. But did I know that the flag on it was representing racism? I didn't. Because my school didn't teach me that. My school didn't teach me that the leaders of all of those people that were in the Civil War and against the Confederate, nobody even taught the difference, what they were fighting for. And I got an A in history. I feel like, I was bamboozled. I stole an A. Think about your history. If they didn't tell you something, if you weren't able when you grew up, if you were not able to watch a movie because it had all black people in it, if you weren't able to do that, there was a reason why your people was telling you don't watch that movie. Now it's time to watch that movie. It's time to educate yourself. Don't come out here and be upset at people. Just come out here and get an education and listen to what people are saying and then say, you know what? Let me go do my research. If you ever watched, I seen a documentary called The 13th Amendment on Netflix. I tell everybody, if you don't watch it first, you should watch it. Just at least watch it. Give it a chance. A lot of people always say, I heard the liberal, I was Democrat. I cut it off in the first 20 seconds. That's why. You're blind. You're blinding yourself. You're putting blinders up on yourself and your education and your history. Who raised you might have been one way, but that don't mean you have to be that way. Things change, people change, and people change people. And over time, we all got to change. And if we can't find a reasonable way to realize that this statue right here is more hurtful than it is helpful. We have towns, we have a high school here that come in that people, it's funny because now they don't even come into town. But when I grew up, they had to come into town, ride through town. These buses ride through town to see stuff like this. Now the high school's on the edge of the highway, so they don't have to come to town to see it. But it's here. Trying to get Gainesville to grow. All this land outside of Gainesville, everybody from Gainesville is moving to Era, Munster, Lindsay. And guess what? When I grew up, all of those towns, how many black people lived in them? 0. Not a one. So everybody from here is moving to a town that's not diverse. All of the people with great educations, the teachers, the coaches, the students, everybody that's Gainesville bred, Gainesville led, is deterred from Gainesville. And that's why I'm here. I don't like it. It's a great community. A lot of great people here, a lot of great opportunities. Y'all keep doing what you're doing. The Pro Gainesville, what y'all need to make sure y'all do more of, vote, vote, vote.
Yes.
Listen to me. Vote, vote, vote. All this sitting around saying, oh, it ain't gonna do nothing, my one vote ain't gonna matter. Guess what? Your one vote's gonna matter. Get your butt up and go vote. Get registered to vote. If you're 18 to 25, your power conversations will be, did you vote? Did you register? Don't grow up not knowing. I can go back to when I turned 18 from the first person I voted for to now. Can you do that? That's the goal. That's what your goal should be. If you really want to be heard, if your voice is really going to be heard, that ballot is where it's going to be heard. It starts, and I ain't just talking about president. You can't miss none of these elections. You can't miss none of them. We used to say, I'm going to wait to the big one. I'm going to wait to the president. Then they see what happened. We got slick Mitch McConnell in there doing whatever he wants to do. I hear a lot of people saying President Obama divided the country, but I don't hear anybody saying Donald Trump divided the country. I do not hear that. And this man is missing, I'm talking important people, blaming him. Oh, I'm not going to his event. I'm not going to his funeral, this and that. That's disrespectful. I don't understand what the previous president had done so bad that you can't even put his picture up. But you're not racist. That's all I'm saying. Recognize the hidden lines that they're trying to use to divide you guys with us. Because guess what? I played sports all my life, and there wasn't a racist person on the field. All my life. Blacks, white, Hispanics, all types of athletes I play with. And guess what? I can go to their house and eat. They can come to my house and eat. I can spend the night at their house. There was no issues. There is no color line in sports. Just like there should be no color line when it's dealing with a racist statue. Y'all keep doing what you're doing. Keep speaking your voice. It's got to be more people out here. They don't believe you. They don't believe you. Until this whole block is loaded with everybody from Gainesville, tell them to stop talking on social media. Come walk.
Absolutely.
Come walk.
Come walk.
Until they walk, it's just talking.
That's right. That's right.
And guess what? Them same ones doing all that talking, when we asking them, did you go vote? Oh man, I didn't get a chance to.
Oh no.
But that's what we're here. It's a village of people. You got to make sure you keep instilling in their head. You got to vote. Don't sit on your butt. That's what happened. Millions and millions and millions of black voters sit on their hands in 2016. Only way we're going to beat that, get to the polls. I appreciate y'all time. Y'all keep doing what y'all doing. Thank you, everybody.